Last weekend, we decided to leave the Bay Area and visit Jackson Demonstration State Forest up by Mendocino. It was our first time there, and we really didn't know what to expect. We've ridden the Santa Cruz Demonstration Forest, but had no idea what the trails were like up in JDSF. We spent our first day exploring the western edge of the trail system. We entered Russian Gulch State Park and took the North Boundary Trail. This trail was a bit of a snooze fest, but it connected us to the more interesting parallel action, which meanders alongside roads 408 and 409. From there, it's a choose-your-own-adventure network of trails. We quickly found out that the trail names were, let's say, quite literal in many instances. For example, take Gas Tank Trail. There's literally a gas tank embedded in the trail that you can launch off of. Wood Sprite has a super cute log ramp. And then there's Rut Row.
Hopefully it's not full of ruts. Is it like literally like the row of ruts? Yeah, kind of rutty. Yes, that's why it's called Rut Row.
And if you're in this area, you have to ride Confusion Trail. This trail is a fun and, frankly, sadistic trail resembling a curly ramen noodle. After exploring this area, we headed back to North Boundary, only to catch a detour south on a hikers-only trail called East Trail. You'll have to dismount for a bit, but it's worth it. This area is dense with giant ferns and fallen trees. You'll definitely get the full Jurassic Park experience. Park your bike and descend the stairs. The waterfall at the bottom is worth the detour. Further east of this network, you get a bigger downhill experience. We were very lucky to run into one of the trail builders on our ride, named Jiro, and these trails were recommended by him. The highlights of this area for us were Forest History, Manly Gulch, and Big Tree. They're all fairly long descents.
Oh yeah.
I can't say they're particularly fast or technical. You get a short burst of speed here and there with some flow, but this is generally interrupted by a switchback or an S-curve through a tree cluster.
Ooh, steep with a sharp turn. Hello, switchback. Oh, damn it.
The scenery is easy on the eyes, however, with ferns galore and massive trees in various states of growth and decay.
Is there a big tree on Big Tree? Looks like a lot of little trees to me.
I've documented a loop we rode in this area in a separate video.
Okay, I admit it, those are some big trees.
I will say that the signage in the park is very spotty. The protective locals have a tendency to tear down trail markers. This attitude was apparent in certain areas of the park. Jiro told us that to counteract this, his daughter had created several signs on paper plates. They're cheap to replace if torn down and can last as long as a year, surprisingly. There's another set of trails north of this area off of Casper Orchard Road that are super fun. And again, as I said earlier, many of these trails are named in quite a literal fashion. Ride Through Stump doesn't disappoint in this regard. As you might guess, there is a gigantic old-growth redwood stump that is cavernous enough to ride through. But the most interesting trail for us, at least, was one called... Yes, you read that correctly. After riding along Gas Tank and Rut Row and Ride Through Stump, which were quite literally named after prominent trail features, what kind of trail would you expect Hole to be? Well, we were coming down a fast hill when all of a sudden this giant rut appeared out of nowhere. Mickey jumped it, but I got stuck on the rim above it. I became very excited because I was certain this prominent feature was the whole reason behind the trail name. I mean, it was a pretty nasty drainage channel after all. And then we turned the corner into this area.
So I think it could be ironically named.
Could be.
Because this is really just gorgeous. These mega ferns that we've only seen in, a couple other spots. It's giant.
So that's our first impression of JDSF. It's not as technical or fast as the demo forest in Santa Cruz, but it's still thoroughly enjoyable. It's quite a pretty place to ride. You'll feel like you've entered a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. By the way, I've linked a great article from Bike Mag about this trail system in the description below. We will definitely be back.